Have you ever had that mini heart attack moment where you're packing for your flight, you reach for your license, and it's gone? Now your brain goes straight to, well, I guess I live here now. But here's the truth. Losing your ID before a flight is stressful, but it does not automatically mean you can't fly. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what actually happens at the airport, what TSA will do, what documents help, and what exactly to say. So if your ID is missing and your anxiety is packing faster than you are, keep watching. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
Before we get into the logistics, first take a deep breath. You are not the first person this has happened to. People lose their IDs at restaurants, in Ubers, in couch cushions, somehow inside the fridge. Don't ask. TSA deals with this on a regular basis. So no, they're not going to tackle you, and no, you are not automatically grounded for life. Let's break this down. So the short answer is yes, you can still fly domestically without an ID. According to the TSA, if you lose your ID before a domestic flight, you may still be allowed to fly after completing an identity verification process. The key word here being may. This is not a guaranteed fast pass situation. In the past, you could just tell the TSA agent you lost or forgot your ID, and they would do a manual verification process using whatever you had available, like credit cards, birth certificates, a student ID to help verify your identity, and it didn't cost you any more money. However, the verification process has now been completely modernized, and it will also now cost you, at the time of this video, $45 to have the TSA verify your identity. Now you can avoid having to pay the fee if you have any of the following IDs. Number 1, a U.S. passport or passport card. Number 2, a state-issued enhanced driver's license or an enhanced identification card. Number 3, a trusted traveler card like a Global Entry, Nexus, or Century. Number 4, a U.S. Department of Defense card. And number 5, a border crossing card. Those are the most common IDs, but there are other IDs that are less common that I'll list here that you can see. If you have any of these, those will also be accepted by the TSA. The TSA will also accept the following digital IDs: the Apple Digital ID, a Clear ID, or a Google ID Pass. So if you have your ID stored in any of these platforms, you're in luck and you'll be able to use it to get through security without having to pay the $45 fee. And if you don't have a digital ID, then I would recommend using one as a backup just in case this very situation happens to you. Now, if you have any of the IDs I listed, but they happen to be expired, the TSA will accept an expired ID up to 2 years after expiration. However, if it's your driver's license, it does have to be Real ID compliant, which is the new TSA standard to be able to get through security. The way you can tell if your driver's license is Real ID compliant is if it has either a star or flag or it says enhanced on your license. If you have any of those, then you're good to go. But if not, then unfortunately, you're going to have to go through the verification process and pay the fee. So if you have to go through the verification process, which is called TSA Confirm ID, here are the steps you need to take. First, you can pay the fee ahead of time before you even head to the airport. You can go to tsa.gov/TSA Confirm-ID. I also have this linked in the description as well. Once you're on the website, click the blue Pay Now button. You'll need to enter your legal name, and note, someone other than you can make the payment, but the traveler's information must be entered correctly. You will also need the start date of your trip. Just make sure the start date is not more than 10 days away, as that is the length of time you have to have your ID confirmed once you make the payment. You can make the payment with either a debit or credit card, bank account, Venmo, or PayPal, and then you'll need to enter your email address. Once the payment has been processed, you'll receive a payment confirmation email from pay.gov. It is very important that you keep this email or at least take a screenshot of it, as you'll need to show this receipt at the TSA checkpoint at the airport. Once at the airport, show your TSA Confirm ID receipt to the TSA officer to begin the identity verification process. At the checkpoint, be prepared to provide your legal name, address, and date of birth. The identification process should take an average about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. However, it could take 30 minutes or more. Once your ID has been confirmed, you'll then have to go through the regular TSA security lines, so make sure you arrive at the airport with plenty of time to accomplish both tasks. If you didn't realize that you don't have your ID while at the airport, you'll still need to use the Confirm ID link and pay the fee before you see a TSA officer. If you think you lost your ID inside the airport itself, retrace your steps immediately and then check the airline check-in counters or the airport information desk to see if anyone has turned in your ID. Also be listening for your name, as they will make airport announcements if an ID or other personal items have been found, along with where to pick those items up at within the airport. And then I do want to mention children for a moment. If you're traveling with children, all children under the age of 18 do not need to have their own ID as long as they're traveling with another adult. So if you're the only adult flying with your kids and you don't have your ID, Only you would have to go through the ID verification process. And likewise, if your child is old enough to have their own driver's license and they happen to lose it or forget it before their flight, they can still go through security without one as long as they're traveling with you as the adult and preferably on the same reservation. So what about international flights? This is where the tough love portion of the video comes in. If you're flying internationally and you lose your passport, that's a bigger situation. You cannot board an international flight without a valid passport, in which case you want to try to locate it first if you think it just might be misplaced somewhere. If it's officially lost, then you'll need to report it as lost, which you can do online, and I'll have a link posted in the description as well. But just know that once you report your passport as lost, it immediately becomes invalid even if you find it later, which means you'll have to apply for a new one. So be sure that you're absolutely sure that your passport is lost before you report it as lost. If you need a new passport fast, like within the next 14 days fast, then you need to make an appointment at the nearest passport agency so you can get a new passport before your trip. Otherwise, if you don't get a new passport in time, you'll probably have to delay or reschedule your trip. So what are some pro tips so this never happens again? Number one, I'd recommend keeping your ID in the same place for every trip. Number two, it's always a good idea to take a photo of your ID and passport. Number three, have a digital ID. Like I mentioned earlier, the TSA will accept Apple digital IDs, Clear IDs, and Google ID Pass. Either of these would be great to use as a backup. And then number four, do a wallet check before leaving for the airport. I personally do phone, wallet, passport, boarding pass every single time. It's kind of my airport mantra. So if you've lost your ID before a flight, you're not doomed, you're not grounded forever, and you're definitely not the only one. You'll just have to go through the ID verification process and pay a fee, but it's a small price to pay compared to the stress of rearranging your entire travel plans and potentially have to pay a lot more to do so. So if you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting the like button, and then check out some of my other videos that may be helpful to you as well. Thank you so much for watching, and safe travels.